How you doing? My name's Harlan Blackburn, and I'd like to talk to you today about vertical farming. Vertical farming is the stacking of acres of property on top of each other. Now, today, the world population is about 7 billion people plus, and as the population grows, of course, the land is going to get scarcer and scarcer. A lot of farmers are selling off their property because it's worth more money as property than it is for the produce that they make. So for vertical farming, we've done it with urban development, housing, complexes where we stack people on top of each other. Why don't we do the same thing with farming? Make the best use of an acreage as we can by stacking them on top of each other. Here the process is looking at the output of the size of the property as compared to the property itself. So by being able to produce a lot of produce from the same acre, we've actually increased the efficiency of that acre. Now, how do you combine that in cities? Well, the problem is people are buying up farms close to cities because that's where they want to be. They're close to the work, they're close to their recreation, and the farmers keep getting pushed farther and farther out, and the lands are getting sold off. So these have to be inside of a city or an urban complex. Now what we're going to do here is build these inside the city, and you could change the whole philosophy of what a farm becomes. It could become simple as an urban garden where you get to go like a park, or like you would make a visit to the zoo with your family. So with these urban gardens, we're going to use hydroponics, and hydroponics is using water. Now the water we could use is groundwater, runoff water, even the gray water from the sewer systems. And the plants will actually take that and filter out the nutrients and give us back an edible plant. And that also recycles the water, cleans it up so we can reuse it. Another benefit of this is that it actually helps take out some of the chemicals. It also produces oxygen. So what better place than a city to take the greenhouse gases and recycle the carbon dioxide that we put out through our cars, through breathing. The plants use those carbon dioxide gases, turns them into oxygen, puts them back in the atmosphere. So now you're basically cutting down your carbon footprint for the city, for the urban development, and they're also cleaning up the water, reusing the water system. Instead of having to go back to the groundwater, we filter a lot of it out. A lot of the stuff that was in there now, the minerals and things are being put back into plants, back into food, cleaning up the water, the runoff water, cleaner than it was when it coming in. What about areas where you've got coastal cities, or the marinas? Now, can you imagine this as a marina? Docks surrounding a farm, basically, that towers up above, where you grow your own plants. What better use of space? And that's not the only possibility we could have. What about ocean farms, where you could take an oil rig, a floating platform, and turn it into an oil farm, or even a cattle farm? I wonder if cows get seasick. Anyway, you get the general idea. You can also use desalination, pull ocean water, to use for the irrigation of the crops. Now, what we're talking about here is commercial farming. These aren't just individual community property farms. These are actually commercial grown, harvested crops. You can't use your combines anymore, so it's going to be a lot more labor intensive, depending on how they're built. You could build them so they could be machine operated. One way to power this is commercial grid, of course, but another way is with solar power. By using solar collection, we could use that to run lighting, pumps, and even put power back to the grid. Now, the importance of the solar power is that the way these are going to be built, they're going to have to be set up so that they can collect sunlight. Now, there's a few ways to collect sunlight other than direct sunlight. We do have mirrors and solar panels. Solar panels can collect heat. They can also collect electricity, produce electricity, excuse me. And then the solar rays can reflect light using mirror panels to the actual building, which would have collectors on the outside that would redirect the sunlight inside, and use a dispersion reflector to point the sunlight down at the plants to get them to grow. Now we already have sunlight tracking equipment that just reads the sunlight power and rotates the mirrors so you have optimum light the whole time. Something that a garden in the backyard doesn't get. That helps with production, increases efficiency. Now there's also the days that we don't have any light, and another way to take care of that is to use LED lighting or low voltage lighting. Well, I'm calling this low voltage farming. We've got different wavelengths of light that the plants need. They don't need the complete spectrum. We have certain LEDs out now, right now, that are able to do that, and you no longer have to worry about if it's a good season, bad season. It's all controlled by man now, from the internal environment to the lighting to the water flow. It's all controlled. So, in conclusion, that's my idea, or my ideal today, is talk about vertical farming, most use of the land, better productivity, year-round farming, more of a community, help cut down carbon footprints. Okay, that concludes my discussion today. Thank you very much.